Hello everyone, welcome. How are you today? Good morning, good afternoon. Hi Kathy. Oh, so sweet. Good to see you or meet you. Is this your first time? Hello Dipanshu. Hi Soul. Hi beautiful hearts. How are you today? How is your day going? Hi Tara Lee. Please join in the chat. Say hello. Where are you coming from? I am right now in Pennsylvania, in the eastern part of the US, and everything is white. We got a lot of snow overnight, and everything is covered. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's light and fluffy, so it was easy to shovel, and it just feels like a whole different environment. I am Uruguayan, the accent you can hear is Spanish, and we don't have snow. So for me, every time I see snow, it feels like a new world, something that I don't know much about, and I delight in something new. Where are you, beautiful people? Sunshine Coast in Canada. Nice. That's wonderful. And who's here for the first time? You can't hear me or see me? Uh-oh. Can everybody else hear me? Let's see, Kathy. We'll troubleshoot this and see if it's my setup or yours. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up or say yes. Okay, good. All right, Kathy. So I recommend you leave and come back and maybe check your settings. Hi, Emily. I see you there, love. Hi, honey. Isn't that great? Oh, well, welcome to those of you that are here for the first time. I am Dayana. I am a Feldenkrais practitioner. I'm a mother of two. I'm a meditator. I'm a teacher. I consider myself a spiritual being having a human experience. And the main basis of my work is this integration between mind, body, and emotions that happens through the brain's plasticity, the brain's capacity to keep learning and changing and refining itself endlessly until the very last day. I discovered this work when I was in my early 20s, and I complemented in the last 20 years with a lot of other disciplines, mindfulness, perhaps the practice of manifestation or creating from the quantum field with our subconscious beliefs tuned in to what we truly want and not creating from our limiting beliefs. So as you see, when I deliver a live event, you will see all these interconnections between the main root of my work, which is, yes, our brain continues to generate new cells and to create new connections among the cells that exist. So we can create what is called neurogenesis or neuroplasticity, new pathways inside our brain. And that's how we learn new things. And that's how we replace or rewire old habits into new empowering habits. My favorite aspect of this work is to do it in the body. Of course, the mind gets the benefit, the emotions get the benefit. We release a lot of trauma, we release a lot of limiting beliefs, but the experience of the body for me is paramount. Why? I think it's because we are born in a human body. So when you think about the body as your temple, as your vessel, as your vehicle for experience, think about you now in the snow. It depends what kind of car do you have. If you have a car that is not set for snow, you will get stuck. But if you have a car that has the proper tires or some clearance from the floor or maybe some more power, you will have not only a pleasant ride, but a safe ride. Same thing with the body. We don't come into this body with a manual of how to use it, how to integrate it with the rest of our experience, our thoughts, our feelings, our programming from education and all the conditioning. So it is interesting to look at the body as an opportunity to become more present in the world, more aware, and more capable of doing what we truly want to do. Many times we don't take into account what marvelous machine this body is and everything that it does for us all the time. And we might get fixated in a place or a part of ourselves that feels suboptimal or broken or stuck. And today's live is all about that. It's part of a series that I'm calling Feldenkrais in Real Life. and you can see some of them. If you head out to my website, you will see how to replay this, how to watch them again. And when you think about Feldenkrais in real life, or neuroplasticity in real life, what does that mean? That means that we get to influence what is happening to us, our experience, from how we rearrange, let's say, the furniture, the mental furniture, the body furniture, the behaviors, the thoughts, the sensations, the perceptions. That's what it means to me, how to take this whole body of work. And I can tell you a little bit about how it got created, but regardless, it's about knowing that we can affect change, sometimes even changing perspective, or looking at things from a new place or in a new light. Last session, we talked about moving as one, moving with the whole self. And today we're going to talk about flow. Now, the notion of flow is a little bit tricky because it's been studied so much and researched so much that we sometimes think of flow. And we know what flow is, and we can describe it, we can point at it and say, oh, I see that person, that athlete, that dancer is in flow. But for us to have an experience of flow, it's not that common, is it? So the first thing I want to do is ask you, if you can, in the chat, share during the session, if you can relate, if you have questions, if this is something familiar, if this is something completely foreign to you. And I will get to the questions throughout the session, and especially towards the end. We will do it this way: a little talk. I will deliver some principles from Feldenkrais that I apply with my clients. I do this professionally for over 12 years now. And as we go through the concepts, I'm going to ask you to see how they land in your body. Again, this is all about reprogramming your brain to fully embody these concepts, and not simply to just think, oh, that was a good idea, because you will forget it before the end of the day. Now, when you can take an idea, even just one, though I will share probably hundreds, if you take one idea and you see how you can send that down into your body, how does it feel? And we're going to do a movement lesson to help you with that. Then you won't forget it, or not as easily, because it will be a lived experience. It will be a memory in your cells, in your muscle, in your sensations, okay? That's the whole point of my work, is to have these spiritual concepts, functional principles, or principles from peak performance or efficiency, to land in the body, to set roots in the body. So then tomorrow, when you're going about your life, you can use that and feel the difference. And that's how we create new pathways in the brain. It's a repetitive. The way we create new patterns in the brain engages repetitive motion, firing the same cells together, right, over and over again, and emotional intensity, variance, knowing that this feels good, that this is better, that this brings me peace or openness or connection. That's how you latch both the physical patterning that is happening with the emotional. Why do I want to do this again? And it reinforces itself. Okay? To your question, Stacy, this might help with intimacy, especially if you are feeling contracted, stuck, retreated in your intimacy. I have a YouTube channel. I put there the last two events. You will see in the last event, we talked about the pattern, the principle of moving toward and moving away. So if your pattern is moving away, awareness, you will find that finding more flow and finding more connection throughout the lesson today, the movement lesson, you will be able to move more towards, or at least remain neutral. You will identify your pattern of awareness and be able to interrupt it. Okay? And side note, whenever you notice a pattern coming up, and this pattern can be a thinking pattern, like you always lean towards the same observations or thoughts or conditions in your mind, or a feeling pattern, you tend to get excited or sad or confused or angry or loving, right? You notice, oh, this is my tendency. Maybe a movement pattern. Maybe you're a mover and you love your body expression, or maybe you don't, or you don't feel yourself for different reasons. None of these patterns are here to be judged, to be pushed away, or to be shamed of, or feel bad about them. They don't mean that you're broken or wrong. We all have them. And that's the beautiful thing about being human. We all have these habitual ways to move, think, feel, be in the world. And there's nothing wrong with them. If it happens that you come across something that you go, this is stopping me from being fully alive, and maybe I can learn a new way, that's when you want to be providing more options, giving a new alternative, a new perspective, a new movement, thinking, feeling pattern, and see if that is better for you. Yeah? And it's not about changing yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. It's about adding to your bag of tools, skills, knowledge about yourself. What else is possible for myself that I didn't know I could do, feel, see, think, or sense, and shedding layers of old patterning, old programming that doesn't serve you anymore. Think about how many times we upgrade our devices. And if you want to use a new app, you need new software, because the new version of this software doesn't work in the old upgrade. Without the new upgrade, it doesn't work in the old software that you have. So you want to optimize for you, for what feels good to you and what you want to experience, not try to experience the new but don't revisit or look at what is perhaps too old, something that helped you, protected you, kept you safe a while back, but it's not needed anymore. So that is it's a kind and loving approach. It's not, Feldenkrais said, to correct is incorrect. If you correct something, you create defensiveness and wrongness, and we will resist that, like a child being scolded. And in turn, if you can observe the pattern and say, look at this, especially with a little humor, and you go, look, this is how I react. Every time somebody tries to help me, I contract, and I don't take the help because I feel weak. Okay, let me just do the opposite for 48 hours. Let me interrupt the pattern and create a new option, and do that and see how that feels. And I'm going to receive so much feedback from that I might choose to keep the new behavior. You see? Let's see what's in the chat. To flow is to be one with the momentum of the universe. I love that. That is so true. And why would that be, AJ? What is the universe doing? What is that momentum all about? Thank you, Christine. Hello. Yes, that is a good analogy. And there's multiple ways to do this, by the way. I'm not claiming this is the way or the best way. I'm just saying this is one way. Ideally, you want more than 3 ways to do anything, so you're really free. So let's take a look. As you share more in the in the chat, I want to share with you 3 principles. Every session, I'm going to talk about the principles that underlie Feldenkrais, so you see that this is based on actual logic, something conceptual that you can analyze and say, oh yeah, that makes sense, or no, that doesn't make sense, and you look at it in different ways and study it and see if it makes sense to you. And then we're moving through, let's say, the crown, the top of our head, where all the inspiration comes in, and we're moving that down to our mental center. And we may be able to even say it or share it. Yes, if it makes sense, if we get it, if we analyze it and go, yeah, that makes sense to me. But then to pass it through the body, we have to get it down through the sifter of the heart. We have to feel into it and say, does this really feel right to me? Can I get behind this? And have an experience of either lightness, oh yeah, this totally resonates, and I go with it and I play with it. Or, heavy, not sure. Let me think about it some more, perhaps. Or let me experience it some more and see if there's something that I'm misunderstanding. So as we continue moving things down into now the sifter of our power center, our pelvis, our reproductive organs, our solar plexus, we get to move into that and really see, can I take this home? Is this mine to keep? So that's why you don't take all the ideas that are out there. You see if they fit you. Much like when I tried this shirt, there were different sizes. And even though I loved the shirt, there was one that was too big for me. And there was one that was too tight. And I found the right one. And then I put it in the dryer and it got short, but it still feels great. So I love it. You see what I mean? It adapted to my body. So much like that, which is a silly analogy, but it's for you to feel empowered to take any content that you receive and really pass it through your whole self. When you decide that this feels good, moves with you and fits you, and you get it, it will be yours to keep. It will root in your body in a way that you could then share it. You can do it again. You won't forget it. Okay? Let's see, AJ has more information. We are the universe. When we see ourselves as separate, we're disconnected with our essential selves. Of course. I love that and I totally agree. And thank you for sharing. Yes. Yes, that is part of the oneness that is behind everything that I teach or I do, and how I see the world is that we are really the life force that created everything. Lives in us. We are it. There's no separation. So when we move from there, there's an infinite capacity for healing, for improving, for learning, for becoming whatever you want to become. The life that makes the body heals the body. The life, the love, the source energy that circulates planets around the sun and moves everything is also you. So we tap into that at the most expanded level, for sure. Let's go back to these 3 principles I want to share with you. And as you can see, I have my notes here. Many principles. I'm choosing these 3 because we're going to apply it really well to the movement lesson. Principle number 1 that I want to share today, and this builds on the other series, so you can go back to my website, find the YouTube channel. That's where the other 2 are, the first 2 part of this series. Number 1 principle I want to share today, there's no limit, and this is from Feldenkrais' writings, there's no limit to learning and refinement. There is no limit to learning and refinement. Based on knowing that our brain continues to develop new pathways, there's no limit to learning. That idea that an old dog cannot learn new tricks, you can, maybe it's for dogs, but not for humans. Okay? So no limit to learning. Until the very last day of your life, you could learn something. There's otherwise death. The moment you stop learning, your brain starts decaying, you see all kinds of issues come up. So, and learning is not repeating old things, it's really exploring the new. There's no limit to refinement. What does that mean? Now, right now, put your hand on your face and know that this hand can do so many things, can hold, can caress, can slap. We're going to take caress for this example. So look at your capacity to caress your own face, to touch it, to gently feel the texture. And if you want to, you can close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you'll see, oh, this feels different. I get to feel some more, and there's more detail. And if you slow down, you will be able, especially with your eyes closed, to see and sense and feel way more detail with your fingertips than if you go fast. And if you take the back of your hand and not the palm, you will feel different things. And if you go upward, you will feel different things. And if you feel love for your hand because you're able to sense and touch, you will notice different things. And if you stay somewhere and maybe feel love for yourself, you will feel different things. And the refinement that we can create with this is endless. We could make the whole lesson only about that. You see what I mean? There's an endless capacity. Right now, just even feel the hand you were touching from the other hand. And the hand that I was touching with is so much more alive and energized, and it has so much more information. See if that's the case for you. Yes? So, no limit to refinement, which means that even if you sense yourself as feeling disconnected from your body, from intimacy, from flow, from even liking or appreciating your body, that is a spectrum that is endless. And you're only in one place of it. And we can move through it. And we will move through it together today. If you feel that your body has not served you well and is broken or something's wrong with it, or you feel stuck, there's no limit to the refinement that you can get through your body movement, through your body awareness, wisdom, appreciation, and so on. We can apply this principle to everything in life. Relationship with others, relationship with self, finding pleasure, joy, presence. There's always going to be more refinement possible. Eventually you will feel so graceful to yourself that you won't believe how many times you were slapping only when you could learn caressing. Okay? That's the analogy or the metaphor. Principle number 2 I want to share today is the principle of co-regulation, which means that our nervous system can regulate in relation to somebody else, in relation to an input, in relation to a memory or a trigger event. We live in a state of nervous system hyperarousal. What does that mean? That means that we are more used to being vigilant, looking out for danger, staying aware of where's the other shoe going to drop, what's the next thing that's going to happen, how do I prepare for this. More used to that than being in a peaceful, restful, expanded nervous system state, which is the state of resting, digesting. It's called parasympathetic. It's 2 different branches of the central nervous system. And there's certain things that regulate our nervous system. Part of it is recognizing that what's outside of us is affecting it, right? So we can downregulate all we want with our eyes closed in our meditation cushion and be at peace with everything, but then we open our eyes and the world is still there. So the principle of co-regulation, especially with another person, with another human that has another nervous system, is beautiful because it allows us to tune in to what am I bringing to the relationship in this case, and how am I getting affected or letting the other nervous system affect me, and can we regulate together? Can I regulate myself? Can the other person regulate themselves? Can we regulate together? And even just knowing that that's possible is a huge opener for people, because we tend to put people, other situations, people, circumstances into boxes. Oh, he's angry, or this is hard, or that's going to take a while. And I'm proposing that we can regulate ourselves based on keeping open the possibility that things are also in flow. People are also in flow. We'll find ourselves in flow, but we also recognize flow everywhere else. So nothing gets to be fixed, set in stone anymore. Yeah, we recognize flux, flow, and the possibility of co-regulation, of matching and mirroring. And this is so easy to feel when you find somebody that is hyper aroused. Say somebody's moving really fast or speaking really loud, or has a way of being that is constantly nervous. And it's easy for you to match. Maybe for me it is. I'm empathic and I can really feel myself rising my volume and getting sped up. Even inside I feel the anxiety bubbling. And it takes a minute to realize, oh wait, I can also own. I can become sovereign. I can become my own down-regulated nervous system. Slow down, bring some peace, take a few breaths. Do not get ahead of myself or out of myself. Come back to that center. And funny enough, the moment I can do that, everything changes. So things slow down around me. So we're going to play with that principle today. Co-regulation and knowing that you got this, that it's your power. It's a superpower. You're not a prisoner of anyone else's rhythm, agenda, fear, pushing. Okay? Last principle for today is a principle that I love. It's called reversibility. To find reversibility doesn't mean like in the clothing that this is reversible and you can use it both sides. That's not what it means. In Feldenkrais, reversibility means that any movement at any point in time can be stopped. You can change direction. You can decide to do something else or stop it completely without falling, without experiencing disturbance. That, my dear ones, is flow in a nutshell. Reversibility means that I'm not so committed when I say I'm gonna go grab this cup, okay, that I'm so like thrown into that movement that at any point I could not stop and decide, no, instead I'm gonna scratch my hand or go back or not do anything at all or grab the bottle instead. Okay? That's reversibility. It's completely owning your capacity to freely move in the world without hesitation, without preparation, without falling, and by falling, I mean falling off balance. It would be as if you're running and they take away something and you fall off, right? You're running and there was supposed to be a stop and there's no stop and you fall off. You're so committed to the action, right? You cannot stop yourself. And this is a beautiful principle that is experienced better in movement, but then you can see how can we apply this to life? How can we be so free in the way that we look around our decisions, our actions, that we can check in as we are moving and still see, yep, I agree, this is what I want to do. Yes, this is a yes. This is a full body yes. And not, I do this, and even if I'm getting signals that this is not it, or wrong, or I'm not behind this anymore, my heart's not here anymore, I'm going to keep going and take my body through that. And then, of course, we don't like the experience. Okay? Thank you, DM, for sharing the notes. So these 3 principles, we're going to experience them in a movement lesson, and then we're going to see if we can have an experience of this in real life that you can use next time you are out in the world or inside your house or at work. Okay? I'm gonna guide you with my voice. I might do a little demonstration, but not much. And the reason for that is that we look for the movement within. We ask your body to trust the process, to go within, to find the movement, not to copy what I'm doing, because then it's not your movement, you're copying mine. Okay, so you have to put down any question that you may have of, am I doing this right? Is this what she means? I don't know. This looks silly. Just dump all that and simply honor what is happening as you move, okay? And we're going to play with this idea that there's no limit to refinement and that you can self-regulate. So you don't have to be all in and only that way. You can change how you approach. You can move faster, you can move slower, you can experience peace, you can experience arousal. It's all part of the experience. And you have the knobs. You can change things at will with your intention, with your questioning, with your awareness. And we're going to experience reversibility. We're going to be able to move through space and at some point stop and change direction and come back. And feel the flow in that. Instead of getting stuck or feeling that I can only do things this one way, and if I want to change, that means, who am I? Where did I go if I now do things differently? Okay? So to begin with, find a place where you can stand up. We're going to work in standing, and I'm going to mute for a sec. Okay, and raise my desk so I can stand with you. And as you stand up, find how to be stable on your feet, maybe feet shoulder width apart, the width of your shoulders and not too narrow so you feel really stable. And close your eyes for a moment, keep your hands to the side and feel yourself standing. We're now taking these ideas from the head down into the heart and feel this invitation to experience no limit to refinement, endless refinement possible. How does that feel to you? Do you feel interested in it? Do you feel like, yeah, this could be interesting, feels light, feels easy? Or does it feel heavy, hard? I don't know, I'm not sure. Just feel it out. How does it feel that you can co-regulate your nervous system, joining somebody else's nervous system? And by moving with awareness in it, you can find more flow and allow an experience of soothing or down-regulating or calming, not only to yourself, but the other person who you are joining. Could be a child, could be a partner, family member. They don't even need to know you're doing this. How does that feel as a possibility? Does it feel possible, exciting? Does it feel, I don't know, can I do that? Just observe what comes up. And this idea that we can take a movement using the body as a vehicle to experience the world, we can take a movement and at any point decide to change our minds and stop, move away, move in a different direction, and that's our right. It's okay. It's our birthright. We can do that. Yes. How does that feel? Does it feel freeing or intimidating? So now keep your eyes as comfortable as you want to. You can open them or close them. And allow yourself to sway a little in space. Just sway from left to right, finding a weight shift. And if it feels jagged or tight, observe that and slow it down. And begin to find more refinement by slowing it down. Notice that if it's fast, it can be jumpy, but if you slow it down, you begin to sense a little more. And it becomes a little easier. And now feel really the weight on your right heel and the weight of your left heel and the balls of your feet, so your weight is even. It's not just forward and you're not falling. You can go there to try that. Feels weird. And you're not leaning back and pulling away. You're just in the center of your feet. You can picture each foot as a triangle. And in the middle of the triangle, your knees. And you're simply swaying and finding ease without tipping away and falling, just simply noticing that things move and shift. And it's okay to experience that. Letting go of control for a moment. Now see if you can stay over the right foot. A lot of us are right-handed, so we're going to start on the right side. And make a little circle around the right foot, just a small circle. So you're taking the weight lightly forward and then side and then back and then to the middle, just easily. And this is making you feel maybe a little calmer. But if it stresses you out because you've never done this before, remember you can co-regulate with me. And I'm calming down. You can hear in my tone. I'm slowing down, so can you. Let's use our nervous systems to co-regulate, to become more peaceful. Great, and now come back to the center. Maybe the right foot feels more grounded. Maybe not. Now go to the left side and do the same thing and picture a clock there or a circle and see if you can take your weight all around it. And for me, the left side is tricky because it's not my dominant side. It's where I have pain sometimes. So I'm going to go even slower and I'm going to make sure my knee is a little bent. I invite you to do the same. Take it slow and easy on this side, on the side that you're not so used to moving. I don't have so much freedom on this side, it feels like. And you can remember what the other side was like. And now alternating between the two sides, we're making circles. For those of you that are just joining, you can place one hand in the front of your belly, one hand in the back. I'll show you. One hand in the front, one hand in the back. Simply to hold your power center there, your pelvis. And now we're making an 8 shape or infinity sign with our body weight, taking the weight around the right foot in a circle and then the left one, and really leaning into refinement is limitless. So even if you've never done this before, or maybe you're a Tai Chi master and you've done this many times, how can you make it easier for you? By perhaps slowing down, maybe closing your eyes, bending your knees, breathing. Breathing is nice because breathing allows you to feel more. When you're holding your breath, you're stopping the flow of energy inside your body. When you're not aware of your breath, you're not really taking advantage of it as much. So using the breath. And for me right now, what makes this a lot more refined, easier, graceful, pleasurable is to picture my belly button making this line across the space. So see if that's not too much for you. If you can picture that. If it stresses you out, come back, down regulate with me. Breathe. Take it slower. But if you can, just picture a little light coming out of your belly button. Like a flashlight, like a beam. And what is it doing? It's kind of creating these fun shapes all around my room. Great. Now slow the movement down. Come back up and feel yourself. Close your eyes for a moment. You can place a hand wherever you want to feel more into. Your hand has so many sensory centers there. And feel any difference. Grab one emotional difference. Something feels, in my experience right now, a little more alive and tingly. I've woken something up inside my body with these movements. How about you? How do you feel? And come back, bend your knees and imagine the movement. We're using neuroplasticity again. Remember the movement, repeat it, but in your mind only. You can keep your hands down and picture the movement. You're not doing it, you're just remembering it as if you were doing it. Your brain thinks this is happening right now. This is how we replay so much bad memories. So use it for good. Replay the movement we just did. Figure 8 shape around our feet. And in your mind, in your memory of it, make it graceful, easy, light. So even if you found a little in your memory of it, is easy, is pleasurable, it feels great. And now go ahead and do it again slowly. And know that you are stirring not only something inside in general, but also inside your right hemisphere and your left hemisphere and the right side of your body, balance, coordination in the left. And we're now connecting them. And this movement is yours to keep if you like it. You can do it anytime you want. So practice with me how to do it so small that no one could notice from outside in case you need to use it in public. For me, it's bending my knees, releasing my tailbone, finding like a tiny little something, letting the shoulders participate so the whole body is doing it. Tiny. Of course, if you are doing this alone, we could do the whole thing. You could use your arms, make it as large as you want to. The point of this lesson today is that you know that you can find this within, anytime, anywhere. We could take it to the biggest expression for sure. But for now, we're keeping it small and remembering that it's about refinement. It's about down regulation when you feel stressed, anxious, or stuck. And it's about finding that experience of ease within, of fluid, circular movement, free movement, connected movement. Yes, and if it feels right in your heart, and if you like it in your body, it's nice and it's empowering, you know that this is yours to keep. If it didn't work, try something else, okay? We're gonna do one more movement to work with the principle of reversibility. And for those of you that just joined, reversibility in Feldenkrais means to be able to, at any moment when you are doing any movement, you are able to stop, change direction, move away, without holding, falling, or experiencing any disturbance. Okay? This is best experienced lying down, but we're first gonna do it in standing. Standing is harder because gravity is working, so we have all kinds of sensors up. Making sure that we're not falling, that we know if danger is coming from the back, all kinds of things. But let's say you want to walk in your own space. I'm not going to demonstrate because I will move away from the camera, but I will guide you through it. So if you have room around you, walk from where you are, look around your room, and find something in your space that you would like to go and get. Like I saw a CD over there. Remember CDs? I have a pile of them. So imagine I want to walk to get my CD. Think about it first. And don't run or rush. Simply walk. Maybe take a little step sideways and do the figure 8, and then go towards it with that demeanor, with that quality. Which means that on your way to the object, maybe you can pause. Or look to the left and see, oh, there's a book there. Maybe I like that book. Or maybe just change your mind altogether, decide not to grab anything, and come back. And do that a number of times as an exercise. Of course, this is not for when you're determined to go get that thing and you need to get it quick. Of course not. But it's to allow you to experience the possibility that you can move in space and you're free to, at any moment, shift. And we're now making big shifts, which are body shift. We're gonna, in a moment, just do some smaller shifts, internal shifts. But first, big spread strokes, okay? So you can really feel this in your body. So I gave you the experience earlier. I'm walking to grab my cup, but then I see my ring and I go, oh wow, look, my ring is here. And it changes something in you. I can be so committed and say, I'm gonna get the cup, and I don't see anything else, and I become tunnel vision. But the body contracts. The body just gets like an arrow. And what we're playing with here is a more peripheric state, open, expanded state, where more of your awareness is open so you can see other things, and you can give permission yourself to stop, to change your mind, to move a little slower. So do that again in your space one more time, except this time walk backwards. Of course, if it's safe. Walk backwards, you elicit all kinds of non-habitual patterns, pathways in your brain when you walk backwards because it's unusual. So walk backwards, and in the moment you're walking backwards, you don't really know where you're going, but you turn around and say, oh, that, and go towards it. Really focus. Decide, I'm gonna go get that. And as you decide that, just slowly pause, shift, stop, do something else with your arm, change direction, and maybe then go and get it. And see the quality of your movement change. Same thing you can experience by going towards something and then stopping and using your other hand to grab it. Or go get something from the floor and decide to do a little twirl and then grab it with the other hand. Just break the habitual. The habitual is from point A to point B. And I'm so good at what I do, and I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to do it fast, and I'm going to be done with it. And what we're doing here is exploring that you as a human can reverse that intent anytime you want, and shift it and pause it and question it and validate it and find nuance and find pleasure and find freedom and expand into it. Even if you end up going and getting that one thing from point A to point B, the quality of that process will change. Okay, so that's what we're playing with right now, reversibility, experiencing this way. And now come back to me, come back to the screen, and let's pause for a moment, stand up or sit if you need to sit, and see now, can we play in our minds? Okay, a moment. You can do an old memory or play for the future, something new that you want to create, where you will go from this one point to the next, and instead of rushing through it, tunnel vision through it, play in your mind that you're going to take a slow approach where you're going to feel it and maybe stop, allow yourself to change your mind, to go a different route. Maybe something simple like going to work or driving to the supermarket. Just play it in your mind. How would it feel to be able to make that internal shift so you have more choice? And breathe into this now visualization or imagination of you moving in the world this way, knowing that it allows you for more refinement, to slow down, to not be so rushed or so contracted or so pushy, because now you say, oh wow, then other people can do this too. So if someone is doing that, maybe they're changing their mind or they're slowing down. It doesn't mean that they don't love us. Doesn't mean that they're saying no to us. Doesn't mean that they don't want to play. It means they also can be reversible. They also can have free will and choice and options. So now you're co-regulating with them. You're finding the dance. And can you find the quality in yourself change? Something internal changes, it relaxes, opens up. And I invite you to now close your eyes, and if you were here when we did the 8 shape, the figure 8, taking the weight around our feet, and do it again, and connect it with this idea that you can self-regulate, co-regulate with your environment, with other people, especially with other people, joining them, allowing them to join you. Breathe into the pleasure of this movement. Could feel really, really nice to free your hips this way. You can put one hand in your heart, one hand in your belly. Connect the wisdom of your heart to the wisdom of your belly. See if you find alignment there. This feels good, but it also, the sensation of it is nice, and I feel empowered by this and grounded. I feel like, I know myself a little more thanks to this. Yeah? And see if you can allow this to feel like flow to you. So yes, it's not the flow that you find on an athlete, but it's a flow that allows you to move with life a little more and retreat a little less. I'm going to say that again. This experience that we found together today is inviting you to move with life, to follow, to allow, to be open, to regulate, to find more refinement, more pleasure, less resistance, and find this internal shifting possible, where you're not so committed that you have to go to war with yourself. And that, my friends, can be an experience of flow within. Right? Thank you, Joe. It is much like water. Yeah. So now make it smaller and smaller, that figure 8, until it's really only an image within. You can maybe feel a little vibration from it, resonance, but for the most part, it's an image that you have within. So instead of being this only stoic, only rigid, only X, right? Identity we create for ourselves, some of us, not all of us, but I can relate to that. I can be that and surround that by flow. So yes, I'm strong. Yes, I'm stoic. Yes, I'm a warrior. Yes, I got this. And I like to do it this way, where I can still be connected to all the little parts of myself. Okay, so that's the invitation. That's the experience. I would love to hear from you. How did you like it? If you have any questions, if you can relate to some of this, or see how can I apply even just one of these 3 principles to life, to my experience with, say, my partner, co-worker, children, neighbors, family members, something that comes up that feels challenging. Even apply one idea to it. Does it feel like something that you would do? Oh, nice, Christopher. Thank you so much. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's so important, especially when you are in a relationship, because we get set. I do this, you do that. You are this, I am that. And life is movement. Even if things are dormant, say during the winter, life is a process and is in moving state. It's not fixed. So why would we keep ourselves fixed and rigid? And then we don't want to get stuck. But we are choosing to see ourselves as fixed. How many times did you feel guilty because you decided, oh no, I want to go to this party, I want to do this. No, I don't feel like it. And you want to change your mind and you feel guilty. Or I said I was going to do that and then I don't really want to do it, or I don't want to do it that way. Or yeah, so that reversibility frees up a lot of our birthright to change our mind, to change ourselves, to see new things and be able to share that. Anything else, dears? Anything else came up? As we wrap up the session, I want to invite you to look at my page on Insight. I have a lot of different audio sessions there, some meditation, some poetry. I want to invite you to look up my link tree, which is in the bottom of my page, and find me, my website, my YouTube, other places, and also make a donation if you can. That would be really great. And join me in the next live session, which will be next weekend. Christine says, I often hold people to what they say and get irritated when they don't do it. The principle of reversibility does feel freeing when I apply it to others. Oh, isn't that amazing? Yeah, because then you don't make it about you anymore. It's not about you. They're not doing this for you. You don't need to feel disappointed or irritated anymore. You just see it, oh wait, they changed their mind. Okay. Now, that's interesting because it opens up this whole bucket of, but I had expectations on that and I was counting on it and blah, 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 4 or 5 steps, right? But that's us trying to control the outcome when really each of us is a free being. So it would change the experience from, oh, I expected you to do that and you did it, so well done, to, wow, thank you, you still choose to do that. You see the difference? Wow, thank you, you still choose to be here with me. You didn't have to. I wasn't expecting it, but wow, what a gift. It changes your experience, brings a lot more gratitude, more pleasure, more actual love, I feel, in connection, but also frees the other person from the endless cycle of guilt and shame and fear. Thank you, Christopher, for your donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tara Lee says, I want to allow myself and be more open to my partner to change our minds and flow. I feel like if I allow myself to change my mind or action, I will not take it personally when others do. I will see it as personal freedom being expressed. Yes, well said. I have nothing to add. I say yes. It's freeing. It's freeing that little bird inside that just simply wants to be free, to say what what it needs to say. Imagine applying this to children. Boy, the day that I can apply this 100% to my children, and if I say go take that shower or do the laundry and they don't do it, I go, okay, tell me more, why? Right? I will relieve so much stress from my nervous system and so much trauma from them. They're probably listening right now and making notes upstairs and say, Mom, you did say this. Kieran says, I realize I have been doing some of these movements, swaying figure eights naturally. Yes, this adds a new dimension. Amazing. My body knows already, and I can rewire my brain to align to the wisdom of my body. Yes, beautifully said, Kieran. Thank you. We do these movements naturally. Swaying, if you think about it, is that rocking. We do it for soothing. We do it for grounding, for calming, forever. I mean, babies, I think if you leave a baby alone, they will find their way to rock and soothe themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even dependent on caregivers. And it's because it's such a primal way to find that vibration inside. It's like a jello feeling inside, like at the very, I don't want to shake everything, but at the very minimal expression of that, very quickly, very small, it becomes this like shaking. And then when we slow it down and make it bigger, it's a swaying. It releases, it soothes, it calms, for sure. I'm glad that you found that yourself, and find out, since this is already your movement, how in the safety of your own space, no one has to be there, unless it's okay. I mean, if they are, but if you don't need anyone near you, it's fine to find the complete safety to explore how big can you make it, right? How big can you make it? Because you will see that that movement is in you, and it wants to also be in your arms and in your eyes and in your spine. And after doing that for a little bit, you find so much life force flow, juice, actual chi energy moving through your body, that is not what we were doing today. We will get there perhaps next session, because we're going to find the expression of this into abundance and awakening. That's what we're doing next session. Next Saturday, we're going to apply this work, neuroplasticity, Feldenkrais, mind, body, heart integration, into finding more of that everywhere. Abundance, blessings, miracles, awakening, awareness, the expansive state. Expansive, right? But first we want to find it within. And then we say, oh wow, what's outside of me is a mirror of how I'm feeling in my experience. So play with that if you want to, and join us next week, and we'll see how can we make it even a bigger expression. We're gonna work on the floor next week, so prepare yourself to lie on the floor for a while, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. I intend for these sessions to be super fun, so you come back to them because you felt good, and not because, oh, I need to practice that thing because it's good for me. How many of those we have, courses that we buy that we never take, or exercises that we dread? So my loves, with that, it's the top of the hour. I'm gonna let you go and come back to my weekend with my children. Thank you so much for being here. If this was your first time, I hope you enjoyed it. If this was your 10th time, or you're coming back, thank you for being part of my community. Come back, guys. Follow the page. Come back next Saturday, same time. Make a donation if you can. Enjoy yourselves and practice. Practice this being that way, just because you can. I'll leave you with this cute moment. I have a garage, so I always put the car in the garage, and I forgot last night, and it snowed a lot. So I wake up today, the car snowed, and I'm going, oh, I have to clean the car. And as I'm cleaning the car, I realized it was easy. The light snow made it so easy. So I saw my neighbor's car, and I thought, let me just clean his car too, because this is easy. And it felt really good. It felt like a mischievous little act of kindness. But the reason I did it was not to be good, not to be a good neighbor, not to get, praised for it. It was just because I could. I realized I can. I'm able. I'm having fun cleaning my car. Let me clean his too. And I love to find that within. I don't always have it. But when I can do things because I can, just for the pure joy of being alive in this human body, there's no greater gift than that. There's no greater gratitude than that. All these difficult words for me in English, but greater gratitude. The greatest gratitude is for being alive, for having life in this body, right? So let's do more of it next time. Thank you, Emily, for your donation. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tara Lee. Yeah, mischievous kindness. That's what it was. I was like, because I found a big broom. You do the little brush and it takes forever, but I found a big broom and like a sweep, and I said, I'm gonna use this and it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be easy, and it was. So then as I'm like brooming my neighbor's car, I thought, should I be asking for permission for doing this? Am I going out of line here? So that's why it felt mischievous. Okay, my loves, 140 souls here. I wish I didn't have to go, but I do. So come back next Saturday and we'll keep learning together, okay? I love you. You are beautiful. You are a miracle. So keep shining your love and smiling and feeling gratitude. And if you forget that, come back and we'll remind you, okay? Big hugs. Much love to you all. Bless you too. Thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.